The film Thadayara Thaaka is one of those rare movies about the underworld and about what goes on among gangs that came out in recent times that really won the director Magir as well as the hero Arun Vijay a lot of goodwill and plaudits, that's the way to say it. He's an unfortunate actor, unfortunate because he's done so many movies, so many good ones and good roles, but for some reason there was a little negative buzz about Arun Vijay in the market, and that prevented him from going higher than he ought to have. But in this movie, where he acts along with Mamta Mohandas as his love interest, it's a movie that's extremely well done. And of course, in all stories, especially crime stories, you'd like to know that all the loose ends are tied up and that there are no glaring gaps in the story. And you say, why did that happen? Why did this not happen this way? Why did it happen that way? But here, the entire story is wrapped up, and it's almost a lesson to people that don't think that your life is safe, and just because you're not a criminal or not involved in criminal activities, that you may not or will not get involved in some shady goings on in the city. This is a sad fact of city life and modern day living, that crime now is almost something that's visited upon everybody. You could be a perfectly normal guy and still find that you're slap bang in the middle of some criminal activity. So here in this story, Arun Vijay is a taxi cab owner who's slowly trying to improve his life, and he's about to get a contract from a big company to run 4 or 5 buses, and which will completely turn his life around and make him well-to-do. And his father is not to be seen in the scene, and that's because he is abandoned, or he left his mother and he'd gone and married a second time around. So that is, he's out of the picture. He is in love with a girl who's a doctor. How on earth a doctor gets married to somebody where she's unlikely to come across a guy like a taxi car driver is beyond me. But that's the story. You just take it or leave it. So she wants to tell her parents that that this is the man whom she wants to marry, but she's a little hesitant because she knows what her father will say. He says, hey, what kind of nut are you? You're a doctor and you want to marry this guy. And he's quite happy with his position. He thinks he's going to make a lot of money. So one day when he goes to meet her parents, he shows his side of the character by saying that, well, if you don't want her to marry me, then find somebody else for her to marry, and then I'll also just go and look for someone else, which takes them all aback. It's a very strange new approach, but interesting. And just a little quirk in the character that the director has actually taken time. Magir has taken time to really flesh out Arun Vijay's character. So he's shown very early as a guy who's independent, who has a brain of his own, has plans of his own, and knows how to close out all the big deals that he's working with. But the essential story is how anybody can get dragged into something that he has no idea is waiting for him around the corner. And in this case, it's a case of a gang warfare happening between in the city. I mean, they're just criminal activities. And one woman who everybody assumed would be the chief gangster's keep or his moll, she clubs him with a cricket bat and dumps the bat in the back of his car when she was traveling in that car. So that's how he gets dragged into it. So they're convinced, the gang is convinced, and all the members, and of course the chief's crook's brother, a young vicious character who walks around with a menacing look all through the movie. He seems to have no redeeming value at all. He never laughs in the movie, he never jokes, but everybody adores him. So wrong characterization there. But still, he's the boss's younger brother, and he figures out that this is the guy who killed him, and then the chase starts. So you can imagine there'll be lots of things happening, him trying to escape, and one thing good about the story is that the director has not tried to make it into a one-man crime fighting unit, by converting this ordinary taxi cab owner into, a crime fighter. He didn't do that. He's got his own bunch of friends, and they try to help him out, and they also get killed. Some of them get killed in the process, which only emphasizes what I was trying to tell you, which is that it's a movie that might ring bells in your head when you think, hey, I could have very nearly got involved in something like that because last time I saw 2 people scrapping with each other on the road and I went to intervene. Don't intervene, get the cops to do it. That's their job. But then again, the other danger thing which they show is that the cops are just as much involved in all these underworld activities. So there's not much help there. But the story concludes with the villain getting caught, and the way of disposing the body is unique. They grab all these chaps and they say, how are you going to make 5 bodies disappear? I mean, you can throw one away, you can dig a hole and maybe one, but 5, 6 men whom you've killed, how do you dispose of the body? So right at the beginning, there is a man who's shown as one of the businessmen of the city who was just imported machinery to do meat packing. So there are these big, huge machines that chop and crunch and mince meat down to be packaged and sold. So this man, I mean, our hero, Arun Vijay, finally figures that's the best way to do it. So all the bodies are tossed into the meat chopping machine. But what is good is that Arun Vijay doesn't take his shirt off all the time, like many of the newer actors are who have a body worth showing. He's also part of the six-pack brigade, but he's not, given to taking his shirt off all the time. So he acts his part. And his exploding into action is also not something that, will take you by surprise. He doesn't do that. That's why he doesn't take you by surprise. He is a guy who's plotted his own revenge, goes about doing it the correct way, and then executes it with a firm plan. So he is a character that can be believed. And the romantic interest pulled off by Mamta is extremely good. She is also a fiercely independent girl, quite open to speaking her mind. And she's a refreshing change from all those simpering little heroines all the time, looking adoringly at the hero. She's not like that. Well characterized. The music is very good. Some of the songs in it are very, very interesting. The music director, Taman. Cinematography, also very good. But so much of it is shot in the dark that you might have a problem, remembering some of the details because it's all shot in the darkness in large go-downs with machines lying all over the place. But all in all, a very, very satisfying movie, though it's violent. Violent movies are not to be discounted because they're part of Tamil cinema, and that's how they are. And so it was an extremely good effort by Arun Vijay, and I hope he really goes on to prove, that he's not just the bad apple in the sense he comes from a family of actors. His father's an actor and a good one too. So is his mother, and so is his sisters. And he's been at it, but he's been slightly unlucky in some reason. And Thadayara Thaaka would definitely put him among the top actors, on the younger brigade. And so that's Thadayara Thaaka, worthwhile movie.